Good morning, welcome back to the channel. Today I've come down to Grays again, West Thurrock in Grays, just past the wharf, just past the promenade, on a little area that juts out there. I fished there about a month or so ago, it might be a bit longer now. So that's where I am today. I've come down, I've got some lug rag with me. I'm going to target some soles. So I'll fish with a Thurrock boom rig. I've actually modified the booms a little bit. I normally fish with a weighted boom, but I was unable to get any, so I've put a little bit of tungsten putty on the end of the boom, which I'll show you when it gets light. The tide is, the high tide is at 6:15. It's now about 2:30. I would have been here a bit earlier, but I forgot my bait. I got all the way here, I had to turn around and drive back home, so it took an extra 30 minutes. Right, I'm going to get both rods set up now, get them baited up, and I'll get back to you. Now there is a little bit of wind here tonight. It's a westerly. It's blowing 13, gusting to 20. Luckily where I'm behind me, there's just a little bit of a wall, and it's keeping the wind off my back. But I only chucked one rod out to start with. I've already had a little bite on that one straight away, and the water hasn't even hit the edge of the wall yet. I've probably got another 10 minutes before I cast out the second rod. But that's a positive start. Probably loads of small bass. Right, there we go, first cast was a tiny little bass. So from the off I was getting loads of little bites. Well, I've avoided the blank, which is always good, but yeah, I'm really after a soul, that's what I want tonight. I'll get this one put back. That was on lug worm as well. I've got one pack of rag, 2 packs of lug. I'll have a little swap between them in a minute. Right, a couple of little rattles on that rod. Got a little tiny eel that time. Yeah, it didn't give much of a bite, it was just tiny little vibrations on the rod tip. But I knew it was something different to the bass. And that's on lugworm as well, same rod as I had the bass on as well. Only a tiny little thing. Right, let's get this one back as well. I don't know how well you can see it, there's a boat on the jetty behind me. And you can see Procter & Gamble just to the right of it. Now there is a little bit of wind here tonight. It's a westerly. It's blowing 13, gusting to 20. Luckily where I'm behind me, there's just a little bit of a wall, and it's keeping the wind off my back. A little bit of a bank there behind me. It's just high enough to keep the wind off the top of me. And my rods, got my rods down nice and low. Tips down nice and low, just keep the wind off them. It's reeled in my other rod for the first time. As I hadn't seen any bites or anything on it. Another little tiny bass. Only lip hooks again, on lugworm as well. So I'm going to bait this one up with ragworm now and see if that brings anything different. This one was cast just left, just along the beach. When the tide's out, I could see like a little shingle bed there, so I was casting towards that. I'll put it back over there again now as well with some ragworm this time. Got some nice old ragworm there. Look at the size of that one. It's got to be about 14 inches long. These all come from Phil's tackle. He's got some lovely bait again. But I can just see the rod tip rattling then on the ragworm on the left hand rod. But when I reeled into it, I was biting the other rod. Right, well, as I was saying now, Thought I had a bite on the left hand rod. When I reeled into it, I could see a big lump of weed moving. As I was just talking to you then, I had the other rod's gone. Another little bass. A little bit bigger than the last one, nothing massive again, but that's come on lugworm. Well, I'm going to get this one, chuck him back in, and I'll get my rod back out. Well, it's just gone 4:10 now, it's just starting to get light. I've had 4 fish already, 5 casts. So I've had 3 bass and the 1 eel. The 1 eel come on lugworm. I think everything's been on lugworm so far. But I've got the left hand rod out, still on ragworm. Right, there's a lot of weed coming through at the minute. I've had 2 casts now, where literally in minutes of it in the water, it's pulled the weight out of the mud. Looks like it's doing it again now straight away as well. That's the rod that's cast like straight out. The other one's cast along the beach a little bit. I might have to drop it in a little bit closer. Now, I don't know if you can see it, that right hand rod's pulling round. The left hand rod's cast pretty much straight out. The right hand rod's at 90 degrees, which is over there. You can see it's already taking the rod tip round a little bit. I don't think there's any weed on it, I think it's just a tide. Well, ever since that started to get light, all the bites are dried up now. So I've had the 4 fish still. Baits are coming back pretty much untouched as well. Still a bit of weed going through, got a bit of weed on my right hand rod now. And it's just started to spit with rain. Now I've got my brolly with me, but I've got nothing to peg it out with. There's a lot of rubbish around here, so I might be able to find a few bits of wood to hold it down. Well, I just thought I'd show you the rig I'm using today. I've got a 3-hook boom rig on, so I've got about a metre, about a metre long trace, 50-pound body. I've got a little Tronics Pro booms, and I put a little bit of tungsten putty on the end there because I couldn't get no weighted booms, and I wanted to fish for the sole. I thought I'd get the tungsten putty, put that on there so it pins it down to the bottom. 15-pound line to a size 4 hook. I've got three hooks on this rig. But it's just coming up 5:15 now. High tide's at 5:30, so I've got about 15 minutes. Just put a nice bit of fresh bait on as well. This time I've cast one rod out a lot further, try and get over the top of that weed. It all seems to be around the 20-yard mark out there. So I've cast that one out really far, and I've left one along the edge. There's quite a bit of tide pull still, even though I've got a bit of weed on there. You can see I've lifted the rod up a lot higher as well, so I can get across the top of that weed. That's the one was cast out a bit further. So Tilbury Docks in the background there. Then you've got the weed just in front of that jetty. Oh, there's a ton of it there. I'm casting out a little bit further, seems to have paid off. Another little bass, nothing massive again, but I managed just to keep across some of that bit of weed. I did reel him with a little bit on there, but nothing like I was getting before. It's just gone high water now, so I was going to put some fresh baits on both rods, drop them back out. I don't know if you can see it, but my friend the Sills just popped his head up. Just had a seal pop his head up about 30-40 yards out in front of me. I'd won a few weeks back down at Stanford as well. There's definitely a lot getting up the river now. Don't very often see them as quite as far down as Grays though. Right, well that tide's just turned. Another 2 tiny little bass. Had quite a few little bass now. There's a hell of a lot in the river. If it weren't for the bass, you wouldn't be catching nothing else. But yeah, it's got there. I just looked up and I could see my line was a bit slack. My rod tip was straight. It wasn't pulled round in the tide anymore. As I picked it up, it had these two on it. Good job they're both lip hooked. I'll get this chucked straight back out and get the baits back out. Got that big line of weed going through now as the tide's turning going back out. So all in a nice straight line. Hopefully it stays in close like that because it'll go underneath all my rigs. Right, there we go. Another 2 little bass. Just about to chuck out my last cast now. I think that's the first 2 fish I've had on the ragworm. Yeah, all the others come on lugworm. These 2 on rag, so let's get this bit fresh back in this one. Chuck it back out and I'll be heading off. Right, it's just coming up for 7 o'clock now. So I fished an hour and a half after high water. You can see the mud's just coming uncovered along there now, along the edge. It's getting shallow and there's a lot of weed coming back through again. Got that line of it just there. But out behind it there's loads. I don't think you can pick it up on the camera. So the rod tip's getting pulled around now as well. It's my right hand rod. See, he's picking up a bit of weed. So it's my last cast down. I should start packing my gear away. Well, just I showed you that rod tip being pulled around by the weed. I've had my best bass. So just as I showed you that rod being pulled around by that weed, I had a nice rattle and I've had the best bass so far. Getting nothing huge, but he's got to be just over 30 centimetres I'd imagine. Right, that rod's going to get packed away now. I've got the one rod just left out in a minute, but I think that weed's going to catch it. Right. Right, well that's an end to that session. I didn't end up with the sole I was after, but I ended up with probably about 10 bass and that 1 eel. It's quite tough going, but still enjoyable. I had that 1 bass near the end that was 34 centimetres when I measured that. So I think I'll give it a go, and I'll go again soon for the sole. But I think I'll head to Green Hive in Kent. I've never fished there before, but I do like fishing new areas, so I think I'll definitely give that a try. Right, well I'll catch you all again soon. Hope you enjoyed the video.